I told my sponsor when I done my fourth step, I said, I ain't got a lot of resentments and I ain't got a lot of fears. And we sit down with my first resentments and and I found out how many resentments I really did have. But I really broke down, and my sponsor, he didn't break down as bad as I did, but I could see his eyes tearing up. And when we finally got our composure, he looked at me and he said, "Do you think you'll ever be able to help anybody?" I thought, no, I can never do what he has just helped me to do. But I feel like I'm getting that opportunity at time, when I work with the special times with somebody. When he said that, it was kind of like I really realized how much he was helping me.
I heard it through the grapevine. Welcome. It's the AA Grapevine Half-Hour Variety Hour, featuring the collected voices of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm Don, an alcoholic in Greensboro, North Carolina.
You sure are. Hey, everybody, I'm Sam, an alcoholic in Palm Springs, California.
What you say, Sam?
Don, it's good to see you, mister.
Good to see you. Sam, I was in a meeting the other day, and it was the best meeting. It was one of those ones where, this doesn't always happen, but someone said, I'm writing my fourth step, and I just don't know how to do it. It's like, and everybody went around the room and shared nuts and bolts. How did I write my fourth step?
Oh, yeah.
It was so good. So I want to I thought I'd ask you that question, but let me tell you the way I did it.
So first you got a stone tablet.
First I had to make some vellum. No, I followed the direction of my sponsor, who said, you sit down, ask God for direction, and then write down everything that comes to mind, whether you think it's stupid or not. Whether you think, do I have a resentment about this person? I'm not saying, it doesn't matter. Put it down. You ask God for direction. You just write down everything that comes to mind. And then after that, it was 2 weeks before we were going to meet. So, I had 2 weeks to write it. So I carried around a little notebook because I'm the type of person that always carries around a little pocket notebook and a pen. But, you could do this on your phone too, I suppose, in the note app or something. But as the week went on, I kept paying attention and going, I do have a resentment about that person. I didn't write that. And then I'd write that. I'd add to it. Then once I did all of that, then that's when we met. The other thing I learned in that meeting was, I love this. One person was on and on about, I felt like I had to do it perfectly. And you're going to get to do this many times as you stay sober. So don't worry about doing it perfectly. Just write it down and then share it with your sponsor. So
yeah, and that's the biggest thing is just start.
Start.
Me, I'm a nerd and a perfectionist, so I was given some forms that some of us use by my sponsor, and those forms were so many generations old of copies of copies of copies that I had to recreate them for myself. So I created a spreadsheet that I could fill out.
Naturally, you made your own spreadsheet.
Naturally. I would go to the coffee shop before a meeting and work on it because I knew that this was going to be dredging up some things that I probably didn't want to have rattling around in my head.
Right.
And knowing that I was going to a meeting after working on it made it easier because if something was there, I could share about it or I could talk with somebody about it at the meeting. The thing is, though, being a good and proper alcoholic, I was doing this work and I was starting to feel better because I was getting these things written down. They stopped rattling around in my head. That surprised me because once I captured them on paper, they weren't going anywhere. I didn't have to hold on to them.
That's one of the effects.
Yep. So what did I do as a perfectly upstanding alcoholic?
Canceled your appointment with your sponsor.
No, I just stopped working on my fourth step.
Okay.
And then I'd start feeling bad again, and so I'd go work on it again.
So how long did you take? 6 months?
About 3 months.
3 months?
About 3 months.
Yeah.
And what I finally did was I scheduled my fifth step with my sponsor, scheduled it for a Saturday, and I got a Thursday off work. I printed out what I'd done, and I went to the library because I knew I was not going to get distracted there. I sat in that library on that Thursday for the whole day, and I worked on that fourth step, and I still didn't finish. So my boss let me have Friday as well, so I continued about halfway through the day Friday, and you'll appreciate this reference, that this is like a painting. At some point, you got to stop putting paint on it.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I had done the best I could do at that time, and I was ready to go sit down with my sponsor and do my fifth step on that Saturday.
Well, there's lots of ways to do a fourth step.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing people's experience, there's lots of different ways. Some of the things stay the same, but there's a lot of... What's that? We're recording a podcast here.
Special delivery.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Fair Fourth in High Hope.
Wait, are we in the Middle Ages here, man?
I'm quoting the big book.
Oh.
When was the last time you read your big book?
Fair Fourth in... That's got to be in one of the... No, what?
Bill's story.
Fair Fourth in High Hope. I think you made that up.
You're going to get it when all these people write in. Folks, if I made that up, please write podcast@aagrapevine.org.
Don, what did we get? What was delivered?
Ooh, the new grapevines are here. They're here.
Don, you get so excited.
Grapevine's here, Sam.
This is the August issue. It's built around a theme a lot of us can relate to. What happens to your sobriety when you leave home? The special section this month is Sober Travel. These are AA stories about what it's actually like to be far from your home group, out of your routine, maybe jet lagged or soaked in a rainstorm, and still choosing not to drink.
In Road Trip, a sober baseball fan retires. He designs a 9-week circuit of ballparks around the country. He stops at Dr. Bob's house in Akron. Well, I did that. I went to a ball game in Cleveland and we stopped at Dr. Bob's house in Akron.
Is this your story?
No, it's not, but it sure does sound like it. He stopped at Bill's birthplace in Vermont. I haven't been there. He manages to meet 27 of his online meeting friends in person along the way. What a trip.
Ooh, that sounds really cool. In Rain, Mud, Sobriety, 2 newcomers on a moped vacation in Cancun get caught in a torrential October downpour, end up covered in mud, and decide the only reasonable next move is to find an AA meeting. That makes sense to me. In Spanish, which they don't speak,
Okay.
and they still understood every word.
The language of the art. You've traveled and gone to meetings overseas.
I have traveled a lot. I went to over 26 countries, something like that, over 4 years for work travel.
All right. And lastly, in precious luggage, a member in California has been hauling suitcases full of AA literature to meetings in Uganda, Poland, Iceland, Egypt, and Kenya for years because she can. And because not everyone can get to a bookstore and pick up a big book.
Ooh, I got to bring some materials to someplace because it was so much cheaper for them to get it that way rather than pay the crazy cost to getting it shipped there. It was a real treat to get to do that.
That is. Well, Sam, who's our guest today?
Oh, today's author guest is Ronnie J. in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. His story, Mother Earth, Father Sky, God, and Me, is on page 20 of the August issue of the Grapevine. And Olis visited the San Francisco Western Roundup and talked to a few folks attending.
But first, the news!
Have you seen the Grapevine Daily Quote Book? It's perfect for morning meditation inspiration.
Quotes are contributed by AA members, many by our co-founders. They were selected by the Grapevine staff from years of stories in the pages of the magazine. The 365 quotes in this pocket-sized book offer an inspiring passage for every day of the year.
It makes a great gift for a sober friend. The Grapevine Daily Quote Book, available at aagrapevine.org/books.
I'm Ronnie, and I'm powerless over alcohol.
Hey, Ronnie, where are you located?
I'm Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Whereabouts that?
You ever heard of the Singing River? It runs right through us.
Well, that sounds really cool.
We kind of known for our music. We used to claim to be the hit recording capital of the world.
Muscle Shoals, yeah.
That's why that sounds familiar. All right. Well, have you been there for a long time?
All my life, other than when I'm traveling.
There you go.
So did you do all your drinking there?
I tried to. I spread it around.
Do you remember all those travels?
No.
Yeah.
Did you ever charter an airplane to complete a jag?
Hey, that sounds like it came from the big book.
Oh, you have read it.
Ronnie, when'd you get sober?
It was December the 23rd, 2012. I almost made it to 60 before I got sober.
Well, what was your drinking like?
You know, at the start, it was my solution, and it worked. Early in my sobriety, or when I was working through it, somebody asked me one time, said, Ronnie, why did you drink so much? Mm-hmm. You know, and I thought, that's a good question. Why did I drink so much? Because at the beginning, it was because I was happy, I was sad, I was whatever it was, I drank for. But at the end, it was in such a dark place, and I couldn't give him an answer why I drank. So I didn't know why I drank so much. Mm-hmm. And it took me about a month, in fact, I went out backpacking by myself, and that question was on my mind, why did I drink so much? What come to me was when I started drinking, I didn't know how to deal with a lot of my emotions. I didn't like my emotions, or I liked them too much, or whatever, but it was a solution to get away, because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions,
What did you drink?
At the end, beer. At one time, rum was my choice of drink till it about eat my stomach up. Your stomach can only take so much of it, and it got where it was burning, so I went to beer. And
that's soothing.
That's what I ended up on, was my beer. It gave me a way to deal with my emotions, or hide from my emotions, I would say. And at the end, when I was in such a dark place, and I was so unhappy, I was still dodging my emotions, And then I got sober, and here come my emotions.
Oh, yeah. The good news is you're going to feel better. The bad news is you're going to feel better.
Feel better.
So what was going on at the end there that had you come and go to Alcoholics Anonymous?
This is going to probably sound a little weird. All through my life, before I ever got to Alcoholics Anonymous, my life would get unmanageable. I didn't know it at the time, but I knew alcohol wasn't helping matters none. Mm-hmm. And there used to be a sign when you was back in the hippie days, get your
bleepity bleep
together, and I would stop drinking. And once I started getting things together, I would say, okay, I can drink again, Mm-hmm. And that kind of got to be a routine thing. And each time that my life would get unmanageable, it would get a little worse and a little worse and a little worse. I look at it like my life was like a rubber band. My emotions were like a rubber band, and they were getting tighter and tighter. And then once I quit drinking, and in time, the rubber band would just back off and back off and back off. The last time I quit, my rubber band kept getting tighter. I wasn't drinking, but...
You quit drinking, but things didn't relax.
And I was like, I can't go to alcohol because that's what got me here. That was my solution, but it's not. I knew it wasn't my solution anymore. What was driving me crazy,
How'd you hear about AA?
My rubber band was about to break. Mm-hmm. And my neighbor, I was walking, and he met me, and he kind of kept up with me, and he seen what kind of shape I was in, And I told him, I said, man, I don't know what's fixing to happen. It's just, I'm going crazy. Mm. He said, I got a friend. He said, he helps people. Do you want to see him? And I said, I sure do, he lined up a meeting for me to meet him, and I sit and talk with this dude for 2 to 3 hours.
Oh,
And I told him all the reasons I wasn't an alcoholic. I said, I still got a job. I still got a car. I'm not living under a bridge. I'm still married. I'm fixing to lose her, my third wife. I'm not an alcoholic. After a while, he looked at me and he said, Ronnie, I don't know if you're an alcoholic or not. He said, but you could damn sure use an AA meeting.
That's subtle.
And I had the gift of desperation, man. I was desperate. I looked in, just tell me what to do. I don't know. And he lined me up to an AA meeting.
I was similar. I thought that all these external things were what was an alcoholic, and I also hadn't lost my license. I had my wife. I hadn't lost my job, but I was falling apart inside, and reached out to AA. And then that's where I learned that's not what alcoholism is. Any of that. Alcoholism is a disease, and if you got it, you're not going to be able to quit drinking. That's what it is.
Yeah, I got the experience. I didn't have the alcohol, but I was still, they call it a dry drunk. It was more miserable with, alcohol had been my solution all my life, almost 60 years. And now I didn't have a solution. And AA come along. God brought me to AA.
How old were you when you started drinking?
I wasn't super young. I was 14 or 15.
So 60, math, 50, 45 years.
Yeah.
45 years of drinking. It's an early time in life for my brain to get wired like that. And then it's a long time to reinforce it.
Yeah.
When you came into AA, what did AA ask you to do that helped you to quit drinking?
To listen. It's to turn my life over to a higher power, to quit being my own higher power. That's all I ever knew. When I was a kid, my father and my grandfather, they taught, son, if you're going to do anything, you got to do it yourself. And you don't ask for help. The God thing it was a weak man's.
Is that where you were with the idea of God?
I didn't have a God. When I got to AA, the group was my higher power.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a long time. I knew there was a higher power, but I didn't know where or what or when or how or, and I kept looking, searching and seeking.
Was there one moment or was it gradual?
It was gradual, but it's kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill, though. It started getting powerful when I become about 10 years sober. My higher power started showing up, and I started looking, and I started seeing, and I was thinking, wow, I can see it now.
Can you give an example of something that happened where you saw it?
That story that I turned in.
Mother Earth, Father Sky, God, and me.
That trip, when I first got into AA, I seen other people have a religion, and they had a church, and I seen so many, and I wanted what they had. I seen they were happy, and they, I was always searching. Me and the wife, we started going to different churches, trying to find me a church to go to. And, we went to several of them. And then one day I looked at her, in my very first meeting, the guy told me, we talked about, it was my Sunday morning meeting, the one I went to this morning. And I said, why am I searching for all this when I already got it right here in this meeting? I said, I'm going back to my AA meeting, and she went back to her church, and she goes,
and you both get what you need.
And we get what we want.
Ronnie, you're an extreme meditator. To me, it sounds like these times when you're going out into the wilderness, backpacking, how long of a time do you tend to take backpacking?
I don't no more. My knees not on me, but about a week or under a week.
We'll say a week. So going for a week backpacking, and you got something on your mind, and you're listening and looking for the answer. I've heard other people talk about prayer is asking and meditation is listening. And that's what I'm hearing, is that your backpacking was a huge meditation, because that's how you were finding your answers.
You're right. You hit me dead on it. And that's, I got where I couldn't backpack. Now I do it on a motorcycle.
Okay.
And I do like a dirt bike trails, and you get out and you camp, and
Are you still camping, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To me, since I got into AA, I see it. There's two different worlds. There's a spiritual world and there's a material world. And I can't live in both of them. I try, but I'm either in the spiritual world or I'm in the material world. You know, when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is get my coffee, but my meditation, my readings, my prayer, and that puts me in the spiritual world.
Uh-huh.
And then when I lay my books down and get through, and I go out in the real world, that material world is so powerful. It pulls me right back in it.
Yep.
And by the end of the day, usually I'm in the material world, but I get to go camping and hiking and riding that trail bike. I get to be in the spiritual world for a long time. It's not just in the morning. I get to do it all day long sometimes. Sometimes it's like all day long.
Y'all, I know you can hear it in Ronnie's voice, but I wish you could see his face right now. He is
That's right.
lit up.
It's glowing.
Yes. Ronnie, that sounds absolutely
That's
fantastic.
beautiful. So what are you doing today, Ronnie? Do you still go to AA meetings?
I went to
You said you went to
my
one this
very
morning.
first. That's a ritual to me. I went there this morning. Yeah,
What's the format?
just the top.
Discussion meeting?
Most of the time, on our Sunday meeting, it's just the people that show up that they bring a spiritual meeting together. Yeah.
Don, you've shared about how the opening prayer and closing prayer, and how that opening prayer turns it into what is it? You said it.
It's a ritual that sets the time of the meeting apart from ordinary time.
Yeah.
So in the way that you're putting it, Ronnie, it sets the time apart from the material world too. We're now going to include the spiritual world here.
Yeah. When y'all were talking that, I thought it's a switch. We switch it.
That's it.
When that prayer starts and then they read how it works, and we move into the spiritual. I move into the spiritual world. Yes.
Indeed.
Too bad there's not just a switch.
Yeah.
Well, Ronnie, thanks so much.
Ronnie, we're so happy we got to chat with you today. It's been really kind of you.
Hey, I've enjoyed it. I get scared at these kind of things, but y'all have made it very comforting, and I'm glad I'm here, and I hope I get a chance to help somebody.
I'm sure you already have. Thank you, sir.
I had the great honor of attending the Western Roundup Living Sober for their 50th anniversary. It is a San Francisco-based conference that is for the gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, queer questioning community. And man, what a blast. So it was held July 10th through 12th. There was a talk that opened it up by our friend Miley that highlighted the 7 pioneers in Alcoholics Anonymous who were part of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer, trans community. And it's the longest standing conference for people who identify as a part of that community. And, while some of us might think, well, why do they need a separate conference? It's about living and feeling a part of and being a part of life at last. And the thing about living sober is that everyone is welcome. There's not a more welcoming group of people. There's not a more fun group of people. First, I want to apologize to all who were kind enough to give me a few seconds of their time. I lost it all, or the sound quality. My recordings were unusable. Many people talked about, this is my 30th year, this is my 28th year, like I never miss it. I had the opportunity to interview a young woman who was day one. I should confess that at 44 days sober, I went to living sober. And it changed the course of my recovery. It was an incredible experience. And I hope it is for that woman that I met that was day one. It was in Castro, which is a historic gay community in San Francisco. It's like the Mecca of certainly gay men. And it was a beautiful sunny day. San Francisco is known to have the coldest summers in the universe. And It was bright and sunny, and, watching the line of people wrap around the block to get in at 3 o'clock on Friday was just such a joy. In the Castro Theater, which is recently renovated, I believe, with beautiful red, lush velvet carpets, and on Saturday night, a classic organist that played before the opening meeting. The reliefs in the Art Deco restoration there, just all in all, a class act. It wasn't just at the Castro Theater. It was also at the Castro Country Club, which is just around the corner. And what a beautiful, intimate space with a coffee bar and meeting rooms and, just people everywhere out on the back patio, and food and snacks and laughter and music. And oh my God, what a good time was had by all. It's affordable in terms of the registration, and no one's ever turned away if they can't pay. There were thousands of people, and the countdown that the oldest person in the room gets to give a book signed by all of the people who can fit their names in the book to the newest people in the room. And one of my sponsees came and bought somebody who was day 9, and she got up on the stage and got a book. So if you've not been to a conference, if you've not been to the San Francisco Bay Area, regardless of your sexual orientation and identity, I want to tell you that the Western Roundup Living Sober is really something. Everybody is welcome and everybody has a good time. And we're certainly not a glum lot.
Hi, I'm Ronnie W. from San Francisco, California, here attending the Living Sober conference. So they were asking me about what it means to me. When I was brand new sober, I came to this conference. The warmth and love from the people here, from the fellows, they were so welcoming. And it was the first time that I ever felt like I had hope, like maybe I could do it. So I just turned 18 years sober. For every year since come to this conference is something I look forward to. And it's amazing. And you never know who you're going to meet. You can come alone. You don't need to come with anybody. It's just super cool and casual and fun and welcoming. It's a super engaging, just like transformative, really. The energy, the people, the fellows, like it's the longest conference running. So come see us in San Francisco and we'll show you a good time.
I'm Pam. I'm an alcoholic. I love the Grapevine. So the conference is great. I went to a couple genderqueer meetings this morning, and then I went and took a little nap. And now I'm back for the countdown. Really excited. Last night was great here, the speakers. It's wonderful to be here in the Castro.
And for people that have not been, how would you give them a feeling for what this is?
It's very friendly. It's really easy to be here by yourself. It's fun to meet people in person that you've only met on Zoom. So don't hesitate to come. There's a lot of diversity here, lots to learn. It's just fun.
Hello, I'm David B. I am a Black queer alcoholic from San Francisco, and I'm here enjoying the 50th anniversary. I want to tell you that this is special to me this year because it's my 20th anniversary of sobriety, and my first visit here was in my second or third year. So I wanted to come back to reintroduce myself to the community. It's very special to see this many queer alcoholics, and particularly in the Castro where so much of my damage was done. And it's very gratifying to come back and see the Castro filled with sober people. So if you've never been to a conference like this, I highly recommend it. Newcomer, old timer, however it is, the joy in people's faces, the recognition and communion is magnificent. Thank you.
I'm Ronnie, and I'm alcoholic. Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And I subscribe to the Grapevine because it helps center me and keeps me pointing in the right direction. And when I need help and it's not around, it's there.
You can support Grapevine by subscribing or purchasing books and other items at aagrapevine.org/store.
Subscribe today in print or in the app. In the app, it's only $2.99 a month.
$3 a month? Come on.
Grapevine, get the app. One hit, now you back. Don't miss out while you nap. Tap in, that's facts. Still
wit's end. Cuckoo.
A newcomer at my home group said he told his boss that he had begun to attend AA. The boss said,
Oh, my cousin's in that too. So are you going to do the whole 2 years?
It's really not that funny.
Thank you for joining us. The AA Grapevine Half-Hour Variety Hour is posted every Monday and is produced by AA Grapevine, Inc. We don't speak for Alcoholics Anonymous as a whole, but we do share the experience, strength, and hope of members to help others recover from alcoholism. All things Grapevine are available at aagrapevine.org, including our app and how to get in touch with us. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to know more about Alcoholics Anonymous, visit aa.org or search Alcoholics Anonymous in your city.
Warning, repeated listening to this podcast may cause sudden onset serenity, abundant contentment, an overwhelming desire to be of service, sudden spiritual spasms, happy destiny disease, painful grins, corny convulsions, unexpected sympathetic tear duct swelling, bright spots, prodigious step swallowing, loss of fear of economic insecurity, acute attraction, primordial oozing. Discontinue podcast listening while sharing from the front of the room. Prolonged use may increase your allergy to alcohol. Consult your sponsor if resentments flare. The half-hour variety hour is not responsible if you experience phantom news beeps or cuckoos. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo.